to our last episode of Dallas Confidential Television for this season.
It is our last one, ain't it?
My name is Dawn James Russell.
Oh.
I am here with my phenomenal co-host.
It's your boy Shug Johnson in the house.
Dr. Holly Mays. He's just so casual.
What's up, y'all? Ryan Russell in the house. How y'all doing?
Thank you for joining us on this Saturday. It is hot. It is cool in here. Thank you, Jesus. And we are talking about a plethora of things this episode. I know we were supposed to be talking about co-parenting challenges, which I was so excited and ready to talk about. That is my thing.
I can touch on it.
I was excited.
I was so excited. And then we were supposed to be talking about Is Fame Really Fortunate? We were supposed to be picking up on last week's episode that we did not talk about. And then we were going to finish talking about this rioting and protest and all this stuff that we are very passionate about. But what I wanted to do, because I just cannot believe that this season is already over. I feel like we just started, which we did April the 5th, I think was our first episode. I wanted to play a game because I wanted to go out with a bang. So I was thinking, okay, how can I just go out with a bang? So I have a game that we're going to play with my beautiful hot pink flashcards that match Shug D. Johnson shirt. We have on our phenomenal Dallas Confidential TV apparel. If you want one, let us know. We can get you this phenomenal apparel that you can wear out in these Dallas streets to represent our show.
You're a VIP.
So, you're a VIP.
That's what we're going to get on the back of the shirt, VIP.
I know, but you can be an MVP. Like our phenomenal Kay Roberts and Andrew Page.
Andrew Page.
And Andrew Page.
Yes.
We appreciate you. And Marvin. There's a few people that watch our show. I'm sure your boo watches our show all the time.
We got a lot of people watching the show.
We got a lot of people. I'm sure your wife watches our show all
She does.
the time.
She
I'm
does.
sure. So
She
we
does.
appreciate her. So we're going to play a game. And this game is called Money, Motives, or Morals. Okay? So I'm going to take every episode of our show and we're going to tie it to people's motivation. What motivates people? What leads people these days? Is it money? Is it their morals? Or is it their motives? Because something leads people to do what they do.
Right.
And what made me want to end the show this way is just looking at why are people protesting these days. Really, because we ended the show really talking about why are people protesting. And we all felt differently on why people were out there, right?
Right.
And we really couldn't put our finger on why they were out there or why they should be out there. I felt like they should have been out there because they had a political, they had a moral obligation to be out there. Holly didn't think so. Holly felt like they didn't have a moral obligation. John felt like something different. John felt like the millennials had it held down and that, they was leading the fight, right? And so my husband felt biblically, that they should have been out there. So just being passionate about last week's show, I thought, what leads people to do any of the things that we do?
Right.
And so tying that to all of the phenomenal shows that we've had this season, I wanted to end our 10th episode by looking at all of them and what leads us to do all the things that we do. Guys, are y'all excited about that?
I am.
Yes.
I am.
Okay, so I'm gonna need y'all to put y'all phones down. I know y'all are talking to our VIPs, but I'm ready to go. Y'all ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm hoping that our VIPs.
Do we talk on this or do they?
No, you do, but I need
Okay.
you guys to chime in too. So we're gonna go all the way back to episode 1. If you don't remember what episode 1 is, I am going to remind you. So I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm not gonna be quiet, but I'm gonna let my guys lead this. I'm just gonna remind them about what each one of our episodes were about. So episode 1. Living for Likes. Y'all remember that episode?
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
me, Ryan, and Holly. John was out. He had a death in the family. Remember that one? John had to be out on that one. Remember?
Okay, I
he
was
had...
there.
He was
I
there.
was there for that one.
No, not for Living for Likes. We had that one right over there. We had on
Oh, yeah,
remember we
Oh,
had
right,
on
when I had
the-
on when I was
had
flying
on the-
and I had on the
There was
suit.
3 of us.
It was.
Yeah, that's
red.
right.
We had on the orange and white.
Yeah, I had on
That's
that pink
You had
suit.
on that. You had
Boy,
on
I
the
was
salmon.
Ooh.
So unfortunately,
Boy,
last
hey,
minute
jump.
you had to.
Jump.
Okay.
Jump.
If y'all go on our YouTube channel, you can see Holly. He was dressed to the nines. He had on his 16-piece
ready to
suit. He was ready
Right?
for it. Right? Holly was
Right.
ready for it.
Shoot.
So our first episode was living for likes. So people
Right.
literally live their life online. And so
Right.
we were talking about why do people live their life online? I mean,
Right.
literally their every waking moment. And I literally have a friend that she go to Starbucks, She, everything that she eats, she posts online. When
Right.
she go to the grocery store, she posts online. I mean, literally, I tell her that people can rob you because they know where you are every 5 seconds of your life.
A lot of
And so
millennials are like that, though.
yeah.
I
So,
mean, for real.
why do
No
people
disrespect
live
to
their
them.
life online?
Just saying.
So, we have our phenomenal flashcards. What leads and drives people to live their life online? Is it for money? Is it because of their morals? Or is it their personal motives? Why
Good
do
point.
people live their life online? So this one, I'm starting with John. Is it their... I have on my notes, many insecure people fall into the trap and rely on social media to mask insecurities. In reality, however, doing so only magnifies their insecurities, John. So, John, am I VIPs and MVPs? What leads people to live their life online? Okay, so John, this is his question, but Holly and Ryan, if you feel this is why it would have been phenomenal for me to be on the end.
You gonna do this during the show?
But Moni in the middle.
No.
Okay.
Okay,
Where's
so
she at?
if you believe, if you agree
What?
with Ryan, so John picks first. But if you do not agree with what John picks, you can pick your own little.
Well, I believe that people do it for their own personal motives.
Okay, you gotta show them.
I believe that people post a lot on Facebook for their own personal motives, whether it's to gain likes, to gain attention, to bring awareness,
Right.
to gain friends, to gain an audience, to use it as their platform,
To build a brand.
to build a brand.
Okay, Ryan and Holly, do you agree with him for personal motives, or do you think for money or morals?
I'm gonna let Ryan do that first because I heard that moan in my right ear.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Are you going with motives, or are you going with money or morals?
Well, just to piggyback on what he said, personal motives, it's almost as if
You're going
they're
with that?
trying to live out a lifestyle that maybe hasn't come into fruition. So the likes and the people appreciation can kind of glorify something that they haven't had in reality. So some people actually spend hours of time living for likes every day versus living a life to actually live out their dreams that probably never come true because it's too hard. Because most people, like, I think we saw the Tyler Perry episode where he raised $12,000 for his first event, hoping 1,200 people came and only 30 came. But he said it was something deep inside of him that kept him driving, kept him moving. And I think with social media, motives have changed to where now, personally, you know, kind of like back in the day, we could call a girl on the phone, would make all this money, and she'd be like Big Betty, looking like somebody in a trailer park, and you'd be like, how did this person become this successful?
Girl
Now-
6,
Yeah, like Girl 6. And it's like
What's Girl
now
6?
people got motives to where
like phone
You
talk,
know,
phone sex.
they can
Got
just do
it.
stuff and live an alternate reality that probably isn't in their true reality.
Okay, so you're going with motives, personal motives. This is why people live their life online.
Well, I'll just piggyback on John.
Okay.
But yeah.
Holly?
Yeah, I'll go with personal motives.
Okay.
I'll go personal motives.
So, Andrew Page said loneliness, which would fall up under personal
Personal motives,
motives.
right.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew.
And-
One of our MVPs.
Let me say this too.
Excuse me.
I do want to dip into
You hold that, that's
to
yours.
money
Okay.
just a tad.
Okay.
and I say just a tad because a lot of the reason that millennials are on there because of monetization.
Okay.
And I mean, look at what you see in YouTube and you see in Instagram. I mean, they make good money. Like, you know, 10 years ago, you didn't see that. 15, 20 years ago, you didn't see that. Yeah, so I do want to say money a little bit. But yeah, I'll lean towards more personal motives.
Okay.
I'm with that.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I think it changed. Like, I think we really, or I just really found out what fans only pages are on Instagram versus a regular personal
On
page.
Twitter,
I was like, wait a minute, it's
What
like
happened?
personal fans only.
OnlyFans pages.
I have no
There's
clue
a
what
only.
that is.
What's that?
That violate. That can bring you money. It can also question your morals and your personal motive.
It's like a porn.
What is that?
It's like a Pornhub version of Instagram.
So
There's a Pornhub version of Instagram.
To where,
on Twitter.
yeah, it's like I show these pictures, but on the fans that willing to pay.
Oh, got you. Yeah. I
It's
seen
like-
that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm gonna create me one.
Instagram becoming thuggish.
Say that for season 2.
Yeah.
Do it, and let's talk about it for season 2. Does anybody else have a, what is it called?
OnlyFans
fans
page.
only page.
A fans? You said OnlyFans.
It's
He
a
said fans
OnlyFans.
only.
It's the OnlyFans page.
On
And
Instagram.
normally that OnlyFans page is for adult content.
Yep.
On Instagram.
No, it's on Twitter.
Oh, Twitter.
Most people get it off of Twitter,
Okay.
but it flows over to Instagram.
If we have any
What is the
VIPs that's willing to come on season 2 and talk about their fans only page, we would love to have you on. Let us know.
Yeah.
John will be leading that episode.
Right.
Okay.
I will.
Okay, because I know nothing about that.
What's that?
The fans only.
The OnlyFans
Oh,
page.
excuse me. Okay,
Man,
you
we
get it.
not, man, what's your next question? What's your next question, man?
Holly,
Come on
hey,
now.
Hey, this is Dallas Confidential TV. We talk about
We
everything.
ain't talking about
here,
that.
right?
No,
It's
come
a
on.
lot of people that's here in Dallas that's got
Thank you.
OnlyFans pages.
Hey.
And then they can tune into season 2.
From the
That's
church house to the White
That's what we
House.
said. From the barbershop to the beauty shop. Okay.
That's,
Episode 2. Thank you guys for participating. Any other fans comments on that one?
No, they
was-
talking to Holly. What's up, Holly? Where you from, Holly?
Ooh.
ain't nobody asked me where I'm from. Oh, yeah. Oh, I just saw that.
It's about this.
Ooh. See, Holly swear he from the streets, but then when you start talking about fans only, Holly get uncomfortable. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, next. This question will go to Ryan. Episode 2. We talked about denying the obvious political influences. Do you guys remember this episode? We were talking about there's no secret that Google is a major influences in U.S. politics. So you guys remember this, especially now, because Google refused to take a side against our president when it comes to the president putting stuff on. He's tweeting, he's putting stuff on Instagram, he's putting stuff out there, and Google was like, oh, we don't want to censor him. And so Google started having their employees resign because Google employees were saying, oh, that's not fair. I thought that you were saying that we wouldn't take a political side, but you are taking a political side because the president is putting racist stuff and you refuse to take it down. And so Google kind of got in trouble. So, was that Google or was that that wasn't Google, that was Facebook. I am so sorry. That was Facebook. Zuckerberg, right? Mark Zuckerberg. That's who it was. So that's what was, excuse me,
Young
not
Mark.
Google. Let me not say Google because I love me
Young
some
Mark.
Google. So Mark Zuckerberg. So basically saying, denying the obvious, where these major platforms are supposed to be not taking a side, and they're saying that, oh, we don't censor, but they are supposed to be not allowing racist stuff. And even when the president is putting things
They
out
need to
there,
block his ass. And excuse my language, because I've been in Facebook jail so many times just for crazy stuff. And if he's up here doing, posting the stuff that he's posting and not being put in Facebook jail, then they are picking a side.
Exactly. So we had this week where he put the little white boy that was chasing the black boy, and he basically said, "Oh, you know, this is the white boy being racist against the black boy," and it was so sweet. It was really the little sweet thing where the black boy was they were running towards each other, and so I put it on our Dallas Confidential TV page where it was really something that came out last year, and Ellen had it on her show, and it just showed that, you know, we don't teach segregation. It's taught as kids grow older, and it was these little, I think they were 26-month-old babies that loved each other.
Yeah, it's just their innocence.
Yes, the innocence. And so, anywho, denying the obvious, political influences, you know, are we really influenced by what's going on in the politics in the world? And so with our president, who is pepper spraying people, he's holding the Bibles upside down, standing in front of churches that he has never visited ever. He is now putting hundreds of thousands of people's of lives in jeopardy by holding this rally today in a city that he has never been to during Juneteenth weekend, saying that he has put Juneteenth on the map for black people. I mean, at some point, when is it enough? So my question to Ryan is political influences. Are people actually led by political influences? And if so, why are they led by that? Is it for personal motives, morals, or is it money? What is he being led by?
I think it can be political influences for those who want to have some type of hope or dream fulfilled.
No,
And
what is it being led by? Is it
it's-
being led
I
by
mean, it's
money,
being led
morals,
by-
or motives?
I think it's been led by money.
Money.
Because money is the root of all evil. And
Now you gotta hold it up.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Money. It is being led by money. Enron, money. Everything you can think of as far as the political side of things, campaign rallies, they have to raise a certain amount of campaign contributions in order to fund these rallies. And I think most of it just ties down to, we can have votes, we can have, you know, protests, we can have everything that's going on in this world. But right now, small businesses have been the ones that's benefited the most, and also the 1%ers have benefited the most from these political influences, because most of them are the major contributors, such as like Home Depot.
That's not a small business. That's a major conglomerate. And I would say that I think the 1%ers have been a major, who's been majorly impacted by political influences. That's why Donald Trump refused to release who has gotten the money from the PPP. I think that the Republican Party have been a major, have been influenced by Donald Trump being in the office more so than small businesses.
But the owner of Home Depot owns the Atlanta Falcons, so he's one of the 1%ers.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So when you say small businesses, I think Donald Trump.
Mom and pops.
You think mom and pops have benefited off of Donald Trump?
No, he's talking about when you talk about small business.
Oh yeah. I think that when you talk about denying the obvious political influences, I think that money is the reason why they are turning a blind eye to what's going on. Is because they're making money hand over fist, and so they're okay with Donald Trump grabbing punani's and not saying that Black Lives Matter, and they're okay with all of the shenanigans that he's doing because they're still making money hand over
So let me
fist.
ask you this. Knowing what we know now about Facebook and the connection with Facebook and Donald Trump, why are we not protesting against Facebook? Why are we not deactivating or shutting down our accounts, including myself? Because now that you're saying it, it's ringing a whole nother light and another bell that where I have been denying the obvious. So I would put it out there to those of you that are watching, and I'm going to start saying it on my platform, on my show. Well, we need to be boycotting Facebook.
So I will tell you on the Blackest Blackout, which is something that's going on right now. They are right now creating a black version of Facebook.
Yeah,
right
I've seen
now.
that.
So they are trying to create that. I can't remember what it's called, but if you go on the Blackest Blackout right now, they're trying to create that so that black people have their own version.
and did that, and it's you can tell it's in its early stages.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we do need to step away from Facebook.
Yeah.
And
mean,
Instagram, because that is
Facebook.
powered by Facebook.
It is. So, I mean, Holly can talk a whole show about this, which we're not going to let him do that, because in Holly's world, we should have did this decades ago.
He's
so
fired. Breaking news. He's fired the Attorney General.
Oh, the one in New York?
That's
Well,
what
Attorney
I didn't
General.
read
Yeah, that was the
US
one.
Attorney
Yeah,
General.
that was the one in New York he was trying to get rid of. So Okay, so Holly, denying the obvious political influences. What is it led by? Is it money,
All
morals,
of them.
or okay?
All of them.
Holly says all of them. Okay.
Because it's impossible not to say all of them, because believe it or not, what we don't talk about in politics is how some of these politicians are raised. Some of these people are raised to do and be exactly what you see right now before your eyes.
Groomed
Okay.
like
They were groomed for that way, The Bush family, they were groomed. He grew up in politics. You
Right.
have no choice but to be this way. So a lot of it is morals, because that's the type of morals you were raised to have.
Right.
When we're talking about politics, now we're not talking aldermen, we're not talking councilmen, we're talking high legislative people like your Donald Trumps. Okay, the personal motives. Every person that's in office right now do it for money. I don't care who you are. You can be on the lower level because you don't make no money and say, oh well, I'm here for the people. But I guarantee you're trying to run for a higher office.
Right.
I guarantee it. And you can say, oh, it's for the people until you get truly into politics. Okay? So I think it's all of them when you're talking about politics. And we deny that. Now, as far as what Suge was talking about as far as Facebook go, I agree with you, but I don't think it's going to happen. And I get...
Of course not.
I
And
get
and I agree
the
with you on that
understanding
part.
and why, but I don't think it's enough connecting Facebook to Donald Trump to say, oh, okay, because Twitter. If that's the case, we should boycott Twitter. We should boycott Instagram, because he's crazy on all of them. But that's not going to happen. And we should even shut down. I'm sure Google, because some of the stuff that we see it on is off of Google.
Right.
So, but I don't think they agree with his views enough for us to say, oh, okay, well, you know what, Google's racist, Facebook is racist, so let's shut down. That's I think some things we have to keep in proper perspective. But as far as politics, morals, personal motives, all of that stuff is what they
what drives them.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what they're led by.
Damon says we should definitely black out Facebook, even if it's just for 2 months.
Yeah, I don't know. And me and Damon going back and forth because he might be my cousin or something. But because of our last name, guys,
Yeah.
Mays is completely unorthodox,
different.
unorthodox way of spelling.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's economically logical in the eyes of some people.
Right.
I don't think that's PR logical.
Well, let's say this. So I want to correct myself. If you watched our show last week, I was saying that we were supposed to we started the blackout June 16th. I was wrong. It was June 19th, which was Juneteenth. So I want to correct myself, which, hey, if you started only using black products and only eating at black restaurants on the 16th, more power to you. But it was actually the 19th. So today's the 20th. If you went to any non-African American restaurants or bought any non-African American products yesterday, and today is the 20th, and you couldn't even do it for one day, then absolutely they're not going to get off of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Google. So I say that because it's much harder than people want to believe, right? I mean, our show is on Facebook platform. So,
And we'll get
I'm
moved
just
to
saying-
YouTube platform.
And we may be moving to YouTube platform. We're looking at some other options, right? So
Yeah.
we may be, we may not be. Just, tune in to see. But we're saying that because it's not as easy as we want to believe.
Absolutely.
Now, when we leave here today, my husband and I are going to Winners Barbecue,
I'm right there
which
behind.
is an African American barbecue
Which
place. which was in East Plano. I think it's still in East Plano. It's phenomenal, and it's
thought you said it was
also here in
It's
Cedar
all-
Hill. It
Man,
is.
that barbecue
It is
and
the
also
bomb.
that
If you've never
stuffed
been to
potato, baked
Winners,
potato.
Boogie, you cannot
I'm
talk.
sorry.
Which one? Which
I'm
one?
sorry.
We're gonna go to commercial.
got
Yeah,
the
I'm like
juices
plugging
flowing.
them. Winners Barbecue is the bomb. So please just know that we are doing the best we can to support African American businesses. And we're gonna go to commercial. Holly?
Hey guys, we want to say thank you so much for joining us on Dallas Confidential TV, man. We could not do this without you guys, so we love you. If you want to be a sponsor of this show and you want to be just a financial blessing, it really does help. Once again, we can't do it without you. You're more than welcome to do that via Cash App at $ Dallas Confidential TV. Please make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, it's Dallas Confidential TV, along with our Instagram and our Facebook page as well. Listen, I want to give a shout out to #Rescue Me Podcast, while our very own host, Don James Russell, is the moderator and the host of that show. Please make sure that you stay tuned. Don, tell them when they can find it and where.
So it comes on sporadically, but you can find it on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, and SoundCloud.
I like to set Don up on those. Listen, I also want to give a shout out to our very own Suge Johnson with Suge Pillow Talk. Suge, tell them when they can catch your show.
You can catch me every Thursday night from 7 to 9 on Fishbar Radio Network. That's www.fbrn.us, or also on Facebook Live. Again, that's Thursday nights from 7 to 9.
And hey, listen, I want you guys to catch my show, Dr. Holly Mays Uncut, every Monday from 11 to 2. Man, check it out on YouTube Live and Facebook Live as well. I would be remiss not to talk about fitting statements, creative gear to rep your career. Man, please make sure that you check out their Father's Day gift. They got great specials, but please make sure you go to Fitting Statements, where, once again, creative gear helps you rep your career. Also, I want to give a shout out to WPS Studios with Dr. Vanell Warren, who makes all of this stuff happen. You can get in touch with them at 900 East Beltline Road, DeSoto, Texas, 214-486-9198. Or you can visit their webpage at www.wpstexas or WPSTX.TV. If you need anything with videography, you need filming, a commercial done, whatever have you, trust me, they are the ones that you need to get in contact with. But listen, again, we thank you guys for joining us on Dallas Confidential TV. We are getting ready to start right now. Done.
I am ready. Okay, episode 3. We need to get to moving. Collecting college coins. Is it even worth it? So we talked about how much it costs to go to college these days. It's like an average of $60,000 to go to a everyday college. That's not private colleges. That's just like normal colleges, like everyday schools, like, you know, like just like basic colleges. Now, if you want to go to
Like Paul Quinn? I mean, no, I'm
Excuse me.
Because every college is a good college. You
I know,
about
but
basic,
excuse
like,
me.
there's
Paul Quinn College.
I'm
is
just
private.
joking.
Great quality.
I'm just joking. Paul Quinn is a wonderful HB.
See you.
HBCU.
HBCU.
College
College.
the Romeos.
And
The
then you
what?
have the sweet
Romeos. You know about the
tarts.
Romeos.
Woo,
They still in
woo.
existence?
Hey,
Romeos
hi.
for life, yeah.
Excuse me, I graduated in
Do they fix the college
2003.
campus?
Okay, it's in
They got a
process.
garden
Okay,
on
just FYI. Okay,
And it costs $60,000.
don't come for the only HBCU here in Dallas. Okay,
It really is.
Anywho, moving
Yeah.
forward. Okay, so some people feel like
Shout out to
you
Paul
should
Quinn,
just
just
go to trade school, right? Because you can go to trade school, you can go to
Absolutely.
nursing school, and come out and make a really good living.
Absolutely.
Why go to school with hundreds of $1,000s in debt, and then you may only make like $40,000 a year? So is it even worth it, Holly?
Yeah.
What is the motivation to drive these
Wow.
kids to go to these colleges, and then they come out and they're barely making it, and they have all this debt? Why
Wow.
are we forcing our kids? You know, when we was coming out of school, our parents like, you going to college. I don't
Yeah.
care what you say.
Absolutely.
You going to school.
Right.
What is the motivation? Is it morals?
Wow.
Is it personal motivation? Or is it money? What is driving us to force our kids to go to school, to these high colleges?
To force our kids to go to school, or why do they go to these schools?
I would say just the whole marketing behind
Them going to
there
school.
you go.
All three of these. And I can only speak from my circle's perspective.
Okay.
Because I believe, especially now because of Black Lives Matter and the emphasis on the growth and development education-wise and economically of the African American culture, morals play into it.
Okay.
Because it affects us when we are not educated. It affects us when we are not economically developed and sound. And we develop our children to have good morals of increasing the value of education. Okay, I almost think sometimes that education is a more moralistic type thing because we're judged by it. Okay, personal motives. I believe my dad wanted me to go to school because he didn't go. You know,
Better than him.
yeah, and he wanted me to play ball because he couldn't make it. No disrespect to him, great person. It's just that sometimes we live through our children. So we want them to, like you said, have better and do more. And as far as money, I mean, obviously we were taught that if you go to school, get a good job, and all that. But unfortunately, and I'm gonna say this, and I don't know who I was having a conversation with this. If y'all on, man, shout out, say it was me and you. But I'm a firm believer. My dad used to teach me. He would say, "Son, when you graduated, what is your profession worth?" And I'd be like, "Oh man, job got to at least give me 6 figures. They got to." But here's the deal. He said, "Well, son, if they paid you 6 figures, you're not worth 6 figures." Because they're not going to give you what you're worth because there is no value on their end. So he taught me how to flip that. But we think that money, hey, if I got a doctorate's degree, it comes with money. And sometimes a doctorate degree comes with money, but it's you paying it. And they don't tell you that. So I think it's all three. I really do.
John,
It's all three.
all 3? Any additional comments on that one?
I agree with everything he said.
Check.
Check.
That's
check,
what I'm
and check.
see. That's what I'm talking
He
for
hit
John.
He hit the nail on the head with all of it, actually.
Yeah.
Got it. Ryan?
I say morals and money because it's an investment in yourself and it's about principles. So some things you can do with college, but then some things like Bill Gates didn't even go to college and created Microsoft. So that was merely determination because he knew something within himself nobody would even foresee. But with money, it's all about security. You want to become a lawyer, a doctor.
Yeah, that's
invest in
different,
yourself, do things that you see that your parents didn't have, and when they struggled, now you see, well, not only do I not want to struggle like that, I want to provide a better life for my family and my kids. So let me put in the work now, and then later on it'll benefit. But sometimes, people go their own separate roads, and sometimes colleges isn't for them. But
That's
I think
true.
for myself, working in an environment where when you first come in, you don't see the value in going to college, and then later on, these younger people come in with masters and degrees that equal to your level of experience, but then they get paid less. Then that's when the business side come with money, where okay, he went to a school, he's more structured, he's this way or that way, he's experienced, but we'll save money with the new people that have the masters versus this person that got 15 years experience. Well, you're making all this money, but what else could you do? And it's almost like you got to invest in yourself and not leave it up to the colleges and other people, because if you don't have that principle instilled in you, you won't really see something. You won't never understand their constraints that they try to put on you. You'll see a vision much bigger to where you be like, forget this job. I got a degree. I can go somewhere else.
Well, let me chime in on this too, because I would love for people, and this is a soft spot for me because I'm an education guy. I love education. Sometimes, and this is just to piggyback off of what Ryan just said, sometimes, and we're talking about college coins here, investment in self doesn't always have to be, because we invest in college. We're investing, whether you take a loan or whatever, it's an investment because you got to pay it back, and you are praying that on your investment you get a return that supersedes what you've invested, right? Yeah. So it was brought to my attention earlier today, and I didn't mention it, but it just popped. Does that coincide with the ability of someone to say, hey, listen, I I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, and my type of investment is going to invest in learning more about what I'm trying to get better in. I'm spending money on it because I'll go to seminars, conferences, or whatever. Is that the same as someone going to college investing in that manner, or the difference because of what's documented or what's not? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't want, like Ryan said, everybody, college is not for everybody. Okay,
It's not.
But the education, are we getting stuck on the word college, or we really want to highlight the word education?
Right. And I think a
You see
lot of
what I'm
people
saying?
get that mixed
Well,
up.
what did you really learn in college?
Well, I learned
Right.
it. Wait, hold on.
I mean, what do you? I mean,
Hold
you're
on.
paying
Now, I
for
don't know what Paul
someone.
Quinn-
You're paying
Sorry.
for someone's to get what someone else had that you don't, which is the knowledge of something.
Right.
Now, how many people are really benefiting from the college degree that they're?
It's not very many. I'm sure
How
it's
many
not
people
very
are
many.
really working in the
It's
field
not-
that they paid all this money for?
Not very many.
What difference did you? What did you learn different in college that you didn't learn in high school?
Well,
I
Especially
think-
the first 2 years.
I think it's different because if I went to USC versus going to Paul Quinn College, I think I wouldn't have that close proximity of knowing my culture as well.
no, you wouldn't.
Because it's
You
almost
would
different
not.
to where USC is much broader, it's much
Yeah.
Hollywood. Going to a black HBCU, you get to see other people that came from the same environment as you have.
It felt like
And other cultures.
It's
It
a
felt like
whole
a high
nother
school to
culture.
me.
It's
Yeah.
a whole another subculture to where you understand
It depends
the
on where you
history
go.
of Greek fraternities and just putting in so much effort and work into people that have the same pride as you do, coming from the same background.
Right.
It's almost like pledging Omega Psi Phi at a black college versus pledging Omega Psi Phi at Ohio
PW.
State.
Didn't work well.
Right.
It's a completely different experience.
Right.
Well, I bet. But
Yeah, I get that.
But you know what, Ryan? The reason for that is because, as you mentioned, is the diversity in culture.
Right.
Obviously, one culture will not allow certain things that another culture will allow. But back to your point, and I know Dawn has some other things she's wanting to get on, and I don't want to hold her up with this, but the biggest thing of this is, man, is what John said, is once you get your degree, because I have a doctor's degree, earned dissertation, all that, and if it wasn't in ministry, which is a very broad situation, how other than being a teacher, what would it benefit me? I learned a lot. I really did. I learned from a lot of books. You know, probably didn't learn a lot of common sense, but I learned a lot. But I guess I'm kind of baffled now at man, it kind of make me feel retarded now. I mean, crazy now. Sorry.
Well, because what I'm saying is,
I didn't
with me
know.
going back to college, me taking time out for 20 years later to go back
Did
into
you go to
college,
Paul Quinn?
I'm finding that I'm
You
teaching.
should go.
Oh my
I say you
God!
should go.
Back up
I'm
off of
finding
Paul
that
Quinn.
even in classroom settings, I find myself that I'm really teaching myself
Why do you think that though? Why would you say that though?
because I'm having to go. They put the topic out there. You
And you
got to
gotta
go
research.
research it yourself. You know, versus in school or high school or primary school, they would show you examples, show you this, give you a better understanding. Because
Okay.
right now I'm having to draw my own conclusions on whatever it is that I read, and then you come back and grade and be like, "Oh no, that's not what that meant." Or, well, then we need to be having open dialogue in regards to this.
And he's not saying don't go to college. He's not saying that.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay, let me clear that up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, I just want to say my Kappa brother, Mystic from Paul Quinn College.
Romeo Brother 2. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah, that too.
No,
He-
no, Romeo Brother 2.
Okay.
Go
He
ahead.
said that it's great to go to college, but going to vocational school is just as important.
It is,
because
of
you
course.
can come
Absolutely.
out with the certification in plumbing. You can come out with HVAC certification.
Absolutely. And that pays a lot of money.
They're making just as much as
Electrician.
electrician,
Yeah.
but they're coming out being their own boss.
Right.
When you go to college with a 4-year degree, we're teaching them to come out and work for somebody else.
Exactly.
Versus when they come out with their certification, they're coming out being their own bosses.
Right.
And so we're teaching our children to come out of a 4-year college being an employee versus come out of vocational school being an employer. Because most of the time when they come out with their certification, you're coming out and you're working for yourself, right? So that is true. And so,
yeah.
you know, a lot of times, and so he's saying we are training our children to be great employees instead of being great business owners.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Right.
so that is, you know, that's true. And so, you know,
But it's
thank
hard
you,
to-
Mystic, for that.
Yeah, and it's hard. Man, it's crazy. Dr. Haynes, he was talking about the educational structure, about it being critical thinking, but when we're talking about, and just to highlight his stuff, I agree. We should get more into business entrepreneurship. But there has to be business owners that are willing to say, my degree is growing a business that I didn't have an education on. I just had to grow it. And now you'll hire me,
Right.
not because I have a college degree, but because I have experience in growing and developing a business, and you'll
Right.
let me teach my strategies.
Right.
And then the critical thinking that we're normally trying to get people to have in these classes and these with financial aid and all that, now they will use their mind to enhance and grow their business.
Exactly.
Right.
And
See what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
Right. And I'll say this, then we need to move on. I will tell you, when I started Fitting Statements, I told this to my husband a month ago, because my business opened, I think what was on 24th of June is when I launched my business. I broke down and cried. And I think Holly and I had this conversation. I told him, I said, I probably have more experience as the CEO of my own company than the CEO of Microsoft, because having to start your own business from scratch as a small business owner, having to do everything yourself versus running a major conglomerate company where you have a CFO, a CMO, a CIO, a CRO, everything, a CAO. You have people that do everything for you.
Right.
You have administrative assistants. They don't do anything. They come into those roles, and even most of the time, they were giving companies. Donald Trump has never had to earn any job he's had, including as the United States president. He's never had to earn
He
any
ain't
of
earned
those
that.
jobs. So I say
They gave
that
that to
because I'm telling you, I could literally probably run Microsoft because of what I've had to teach myself, and I'm probably way more qualified. And I told my husband, I said, I never wanted to be self-employed. I literally have enjoyed for 20 years working for other companies, and I had to learn everything myself, and I made lots of mistakes and lost lots of money. And Donald Trump has always lost other people's money. He's never lost any of his own money because he was given his father's company. And so I
mean, you're just too much of a boss to be confined to someone else's level of them, of seeing what your potentials were.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is, like you said, I wasn't raised to be a CEO. I was raised to be an employee, not an employer. And so I had to make a lot of mistakes, and I've done it, and I'm so proud of myself. But I got it. I think I went to college to work for somebody else, and I think that, like John said, what did I actually learn? I did not learn to be a boss. I learned to be an employee. And I wish I would have, as Mystic said, I wish I would have went into it with the thought of being my own business. And I didn't. And so I've had to make a lot of mistakes along the way. So, anywho, moving on. We're going to take a really quick commercial. And then we're going to run through these next 5 episodes so that we can get through them. But yeah, lots of great comments about collecting college coins.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Hey guys, before we go to a break, man, once again, we want to thank you guys for joining us on Dallas Confidential TV, where we're here every Saturday at 2:30. Listen, man, we can't make this happen without you guys. So we want, if you guys would like to partner with us, if you'd like to be a sponsor, we would like you to help us out via Cash App at Dallas Confidential TV. Also, make sure you guys follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and also continue to like. Want to give a shout out to hashtag Rescue Me Podcast by our very own Don Russell. Also want to give a shout out to Fitting Statements, where your creative gear helps you rep your career. Want to give a shout out to Shug's Pillow Talk, where you can find them every Thursday at 7 p.m. at Fishbowl Radio Network. And also Dr. Vanille Warren, president of WPS TV. You can come out and see them at 900 East Beltline Road, DeSoto, Texas, 75115, or visit their website at www.wpstxtv. If you need videography or any type of film work, done, they'll be more than happy to do it. And make sure you guys follow me personally on Dr. Holly Mays Uncut every Monday from 11 to 2. Back to you, Don.
Thank you very much. Episode 4 and 5, we talked about shutting down the conversation on the gay community, myths versus misconceptions. We couldn't do this in just one episode, so we had 2 episodes about it. We played games. So John, leading, what I can't even get it out. What drives the motivation when it comes to the gay community, when it comes to legislation, when it comes to the fear of the gay community, when it comes to people thinking, oh my God, they're just so different than us. Their sex lives are different. They eat different. They look different. They smell different. Why are people, what's the fear? What drives us versus them? Like, why is it just people motivation when it comes to just the lack of knowledge and just the lack of ignorance, everything?
You just said it. Fear and ignorance.
Okay, but it gotta fall under morals, motives, or money.
Morals.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And people, because of their fear, they become, or because of their ignorance, they're very fearful, and because they want to be so morally correct and think that a person's lifestyle is so immoral, it causes them to be hateful. So.
We talked about that a lot. You talk about it on your show. I think you had Holly on your show. I had you on my show. We talked about it. One sin is not greater than the other, but unfortunately people want to believe that, oh my God, to be gay, that has to be worse than, I cheated on my wife, with being gay is way worse than that, right?
And right now, there's a big debate going on right now with the Black Lives Movement and then
Equal rights.
And so you have black gay men and black gay women that are part of the Black Lives Matter movement. But when it comes to, I guess, acknowledging the gay community, then they're put aside or put in the back and want to be told, well, let's not overshadow this movement with with the gay lives. And it's like, no, how can you? They're both concurrent. Why can't they be concurrent? Because when we're needing you to the black community for black gay lives or black transgenders that are still being killed by police officers, or even the black community itself, no one wants to stand up. But when it's all for the George Floyd and the Aubrey and the Breonna Taylor, you're expecting the gay community to be there.
Right.
So that's what's going on right now. And since that show, it has put a lot of different things into perspective.
Well, the great thing this week is that there was a legislation that was passed by the Supreme Court where people cannot be terminated based off of the LGBT lifestyle, correct? And so our president, Donald Trump, has not pushed back on that. He has instead chose to focus on DACA. Well, that too. But he's chose to push back on DACA, so which is the Dreamers. He is fighting the legislation on that and not allowing them to stay here in the United States. So he is not pushing back on the LGBT community, which is a blessing. So I mean, I want to give kudos to that. Well, he shouldn't be pushing back on DACA either, right? That's 700,000 immigrants who he's wanting to. I think that's more of an attack on Obama more than anything. So.
But it was he did have his moments where he was attacking the LGBT community and the same-sex marriages, and that again was an Obama
legislation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it falls back on the Constitution. You can't do none of that. No way. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't read. You can say whatever you want. You can have a disagreement on whatever you want, but he can't change something that was in the Constitution without legislature. So that he could talk about whatever he wants. And I think sometimes we confuse talking or discussing and what's on CNN or what's on Fox News as opposed to what's legal.
I agree. Okay, Holly, Ryan, you guys want to jump on this?
Yeah, because I got to deal with some these preachers.
Morals, motives, or money. Shutting down the conversation. What's leading it?
Personal motives and morals. Okay. Just like John said. Man, it's such a weird topic because it can go so many different ways. I biblically believe that we don't have the right to ostracize anybody. You got Christians with so many demons that they're dealing with. That it's a moral thing for you to be able to say, wait, hold on, I'm not going to judge you. Let me first judge myself. We can have a discussion about what the word says and get clarity on it to help you get to a point that is pleasing to God.
Right.
But for me to point the finger at you is very ignorant and selfish within myself. And that's a moral issue. Now, personal motives, well, I personally believe and I mentioned this a while back, and I'm going to say it because, once again, they're using this term on, and he's reading it. When we use words like abomination, we have to talk about etymology of the word, because I don't like the way we use it, because we always want to take a word and make it seem worse when we say it.
Yeah.
But if I said it to you, you'd be like, wait, hold on, man, it's not that bad, No. So let me bring some clarity to this, if y'all don't mind, because I'm getting text back here, and it's really bothering me.
You got 7 minutes, Holly.
It won't be that long. Okay. Abomination was used in Jesus' time by elites, by the educated. That word was used. So when we say the word abomination, and you look at the synonym of abomination, or if you look at the Greek word of abomination, you will also find words that common folk use, which are called sinful, disliked. What's another one? Not worthy. Those will be words you see that are in congruence with the word abomination. But when we use the word abomination, because it sounds so big and so destructive, we'll say, oh my God, that's the worst that could happen. No, it's not. Because etymologically, it's the same word you use when you talk about a murderer. It's the same word you use, but it's used by a different group of people with a different intellect. Like if you talk to Bishop Noel Jones, his wordplay is so extensive, but he's using words that sound just like yours. It's just his education is so enhanced. So I want to say that because I don't like when preachers say, well, it's an abomination. So is your lying.
Whoremongering.
So is your whoremongering. And we got to say that. Now, do I agree? No. But at the end of the day, my personal feelings have nothing to do with biblical knowledge and what's there. And we have to do better preachers. We got to study better, because Black lives matter, but so do gay lives, so do white. Everybody matter. And I'm gonna say that. My bad.
Yeah, all lives matter.
And now that's me. Now, anybody want to come for me? Come see.
No, I agree with that. I put that on our Facebook page. I do agree with that. So thank you so much for that, Holly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, moving on to episode 6 before we run out of time. Let's talk about sex.
We good. We
Okay.
good. You go ahead.
Let's talk about sex. Sexuality is natural. Sexual preference is a natural part of life. Some people are afraid to talk about sex. We have to talk about sex. I mean, it's what we do as a society. We need to be more open and talk about it. We need to celebrate sex, our sexual preferences.
I love sex.
It's healthy.
It's healthy.
I mean, what? I'm married.
I love it.
I didn't marry my woman just because she can cook.
You know what?
Y'all better quit playing with me.
It's a great source of vitamin D.
It's a great source.
I got a great source.
You get a great source and provide a great
I
source.
do.
Give and provide a great source of vitamin D.
Boy, that might be the healthiest thing you could possibly do.
I believe it.
Yep.
Is my wife on here?
Somebody upset, it sounded like.
Okay, so John said that he absolutely loves sex after church for some reason. Also, John said that when he gets done with the word, for some reason, he just feels a spirit that come over him.
What?
And when he get home, it
My
just...
spirit be high.
What the heck? What?
Okay, Ryan. This is your question.
Okay.
How in the world?
It falls on him. Let's talk about sex. What motivates you when it comes to sex? What motivates people when it comes to sex? Like when you think about it in the world, like sex.
I don't know.
What?
They're horny.
I think
I
Is
don't
it their
know.
morals, money, or is it their personal motives? What leads people
All of it.
sexually?
Ooh,
Sexually.
For me, it's personal motives. Like my
All
motive
of
is to, like a gratification, like almost.
My wife give me
When it
more
comes
money when I.
It's like I conquered
Okay,
the
you wanna
highest
show
mountain. I
get
accomplished
more of an
the
allowance
biggest
when
goal,
I'm
and how
knocking
many
out,
times
you
can
know.
I accomplish this goal consecutively? Because sometimes you start off slow, but you finish off strong. Is the most promising, the most.
I'm so done with
gratifying
you right now.
Thing that you can ever do in your life.
I'm so done with you.
And you learn more as you get older.
He said, "Start off slow, you end off strong." Please take the mic away from your husband. Take the mic away from your husband. Y'all gotta understand, this is our last show.
Go
So,
strong.
so,
Go finish
so
strong.
you're gonna hear stuff.
You okay?
Hey, you know, some people do it for personal motives. Some do it for money.
I know.
And some people, they
morally.
morals.
I know.
You know,
What is yours, John? Are you
I would
done?
love to hear the moral.
Are you done?
God said be
No,
fruitful
I
and
know he ain't
multiply.
done.
I mean, I'm almost kind of done.
But he getting out of control.
I know we short on time.
We short on time. We short on time.
Yeah, we
so,
are.
where
I
you
want to
at?
know morals. John, you gotta tell me this.
Where you at, John?
I mean, you know,
Some people do it
God
for
said
money.
be fruitful and be
What?
multiplied.
Some people do it for money. A
They
lot
do.
of people do it for
Yeah.
money.
They do.
Some people do it for money at a certain time in their life. Sometimes you know that
Some-
light bill be due.
Oh, so
The
let's
light
address this. Dr. Haynes says
Like
that
Superfly.
you all are playing a line of condoning and compromising with the Word of God.
Oh, wait, he's still back on number 4,
Yeah.
episode 4
Let,
and
let me,
5?
let me tell you.
Are
So,
we talking about Pastor Freddie Haynes?
no.
Oh, okay,
You're talking about
Lord
Bishop Haynes. You're talking about
Jesus.
Bishop
Okay,
Haynes.
you don't talk about
Listen,
Lord.
let me
Okay,
let
he
me say
watch our
this.
show?
Yeah, he probably do. But listen,
Oh, Jesus.
um,
I don't know if I'm ready for Freddie Haynes. to watch
Dr.
our show.
Haynes, I will say this. Dr. Haynes is extremely correct when it
Are we
comes
still on
to.
episode 4 and 5? Okay.
No, we gonna address it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that after the show.
Okay.
Let's go.
Are we still on? Let's talk
Oh.
about sex, right?
We can talk about
No,
it now.
let's
We
talk.
still on
No, we
four
got
and
man, we
five?
got stuff to do.
We gotta move on. I'm sorry. Catch
Well,
us
I
on
wanna be in
season
the
2.
conversation.
Can we do season 2?
Not now.
I'm saying, can he catch us on season 2? We gotta move on.
Okay, come on,
Okay,
Don,
thank
because you
you.
ain't got but like 7
I
minutes.
know. So we talking about, let's talk about sex. So you said you on morals. Okay.
I was trying to hear the morals.
I want to know morally.
God said be fruitful and multiply.
But you're not multiplying, John. You don't got no kids.
You
so
can't
what you,
have
so
no
what you
kids.
doing it for?
I took a stance on yesterday. I said I'm not gonna pass out any more kids for Father's Day.
Who you gonna
Man, go to the next one, man. I'm not playing that. Come on, man.
Jesus.
My
Okay.
seed will not hit the ground.
Okay, we moving on. Episode 7, dating dilemmas. How hard is it to date out in these streets? We had some single people on the show. We had some people on the show that's absolutely not having sex right now, but do want to at some point date to get married. Ryan and I talked about when we were dating. We had some callers that called in and gave us their issues, and when they was out here dating, that was a really great show. As a matter of fact, that was one of our highest viewed shows. Was dating dilemmas. We did 2 parts. As a matter of fact, thank you VIPs and MVPs for watching that show. That was our highest rate, one of our highest rated shows with dating dilemmas. Okay, that is Holly. Your question.
Okay.
Dating dilemmas. What motivates people to date? Oh Lord, I want to say, let's talk about when they're out here dating immorally. When they out here doing wrong in these streets. When people out here just doing bad in these streets. What's their driving force? What's their driving force? Wrong.
When you say doing bad in the streets,
Yes. Like when you out here dating and you taking women's money.
well, that's personal motives, and I think you just answered your own question.
Yeah.
It's personal motives and money. But when you're talking about dating as a whole, you're talking about morals, because some people date based on their morals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Date based on how.
Yeah, what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So what do you think?
Morals
Morals
and personal.
and personal.
And money.
And money.
You know, everybody have their own reasons.
That is true. Depends on where
It
age
depends
and
on where
stage
they
you
at,
catch
yeah.
them. That is true. I would probably say that's probably the one show where we probably all over.
Next.
Woo! Okay. Lord Jesus, we about to run over. Episode 8, health and wealth. John, you were not here for this show, but this is your question. Health versus wealth. What does your mind control your money and your body? So, John, you were not here for the show, but I know you watched the health versus wealth. We talked about which one is more important to you. Which one are you willing to, what costs more to you? At this stage, we were talking about like which one are you willing to put more into, your health or your wealth?
At this age, at this point in my life, my health is worth
Your
more.
health means more than
Yes.
wealth. Exactly. So what leads us at this point, but just people in general, what do you think leads them when it comes to health versus wealth? What leads them? Their morals, their personal motives, or money? Well, I guess we take money off since we're talking about health versus wealth. Morals or motives when it comes to health versus wealth, John? Health versus wealth. Morals or motive, personal motives?
Personal motives.
I would say for me, personal motives, I'll answer this one because I always say that I only start losing weight when I get it to a certain weight itch. You know, because I like to be fine in these streets. So my husband and I, we had, probably more so me than him, when we went to premarital counseling, we have like a contract that we cannot go over 30 pounds in this marriage because if so, that's like grounds for divorce.
Who's this dude?
So, but I think both of us are very health conscious. So my husband has intentionally put himself on a weight regimen. Y'all saw on what was that Health versus Wealth episode, he said that what was it, Holly, he challenged you to a 30-pound.
He didn't challenge me.
Holly, he said that he was gonna lose 30 pounds,
but that
and
wasn't no
so,
challenge to me.
how much have you lost in the last 2 weeks, Ryan?
I lost 10 pounds since last week.
He's lost, that was 2 weeks ago that we did that show.
Mm-hmm.
So in
So
that
he's
2
doing
weeks,
alright.
he's lost 10 pounds. I think he looked fine, but so that's what he's saying. And I've lost 12 pounds in the last 2 months. So I mean, we just like to look good, but that's my personal motive because I just like to be looking good in these streets. I like when men be like, "Ooh, you look good." So for me, it's personal motive. So, but for some people, morally, they just like to, they like to keep their zen and
Because they feel like it's cleansing them
there you
spiritually.
go, spiritually.
A lot of it's money. You know, I'm a personal. I train people, so I make money from exercise and fitness and everything. So
Yeah, you can't be fat trying to train folks.
you
Nobody wants to
can.
go to
I mean, you can.
People want to go to a fat trainer.
You go to a fat doctor,
I've seen
Ooh.
it before.
I don't intentionally go to a fat doctor.
but when you find out he's fat, you still go.
I wouldn't go to a fat doctor.
It's not
to
you,
lose
Don.
weight.
We're talking about people.
Okay.
People go to fat doctors. They go to doctors that smoke cigarettes. They go to
who
doctors.
knows that their doctor smokes cigarettes?
You
though?
know your doctor. You can smell it.
I've never smelled my
I mean,
doctor's-
you got some doctor, got some.
I've worked in the hospital, so I know for a fact doctors smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
Doctor drink, all that stuff. So I mean, you can go to a fat trainer
I
if he
guess
know
you
what he's
could.
doing and he's successful.
Yeah, you got fat football coaches that's successful.
That's successful.
But most football coaches haven't actually played football, have they?
Yeah, they
No,
have.
most of them have. They just retired. They
They're
like,
just
okay.
done. But I mean,
Okay, I guess.
if the end result is right, people are paid for whatever. It don't matter how you look.
I guess. Well, actually, episode 9, we didn't actually do a show. We were supposed to be talking about Is Fame Really Fortunate, but I kind of hijacked that show. And we didn't do Is Fame Actually Fortunate. We talked about George Floyd, and we talked about celebrities being on the front line with the protests because I actually felt like they needed to be out there. And Holly actually felt like they didn't need to be out there. And John felt like they actually really could make their own decision based off of their personal motives. And my husband actually didn't really get to say much, period, outside of are they out there for a moment or the movement. So we're not going to really use the cue cards, the flashcards on that because there really was not a show. So that was our season, you guys. It happened so fast and we're running out of time. I mean, I think our show is practically over right now. So we're going to do final thoughts for the season. John, where did the season go and final thoughts?
It was a great season. It went by, when you're having a good time flies by fast. I just want to thank everybody who has supported us, that watched. We welcome all the comments.
Any ending comments from our VIPs, MVPs that you want to shout out to before we go?
Terrence Haynes, yeah,
What Terrence say?
he got a lot to say.
Ooh,
I do too.
what Terrence? Oh, Terrence, what Terrence got a lot to say?
He do. That's
You-
okay.
What do you say? God bless you.
Ooh, he said, "God bless us."
God bless him.
Oh Lord. Okay. John is in charge of comments, Terrence. So
Let me say this, because I don't in everybody's comments. Comments are comments. It is what it is. One thing we've had throughout our whole show, our whole season, is comments. We've had comments. We've had some that were understood, some that wasn't. We've had some that were liked and some that were not. But I would like to say that we did an excellent job on putting information out. And I think for us, that's what's important. I'm excited at what everybody brought on this stand, and I think people benefited from it. I do. Preachers, pastors, everybody, and I just think that that's what we need. We need to continue to put out the information.
We do.
And here's the deal. Everybody has an opinion, everybody has a say, and we welcome that, and we look at it and we move on.
What I welcome is your comments, but what I don't welcome is your judgment.
That's true too.
Invite them on the show.
That's why I said.
But that's not about one particular comment.
Yeah.
I'm talking a diverse plethora of comments, because I don't wear my feelings on my shoulder. So a person can say whatever they want. But as a whole, our show has helped a lot of people. As a whole, our show has dealt with a lot of different aspects where people have got in contact with me personally and said, hey man, if it were not for you guys' show, hey man, I wouldn't have. So if there's a comment that person said that made me uneasy, there was another comment that said thank you.
Right.
So I'm staying on that, and I don't really focus on, because that's what you get when you come on these shows.
Right, and I get that. Just like you get people that are saying whatever to you.
They say
you brought me on here to represent a community.
absolutely.
So it is my duty here to use this platform to stand up for that community. And when someone is using something like that, being judgmental and challenging whether our relationship with the Word of God or whatever, then it is my duty to speak up
and I want to
address that.
I want to say this, and we are probably way over our time, but the great thing is that this is Facebook Live. It's our channel, and we can. This is not network or we're going to be timed out. I want to say this. Holly came to me beginning of April, end of March, and said, Dawn, I want to do a show, and I want to do it with you. And we put it together immediately. And I immediately thought of John and wanted someone from the LGBT community on the show. I also wanted a millennial on the show. I also wanted a Caucasian person on the show. I still would love to have a millennial on the show. I would still love to have, and not so much a Caucasian, a person of non-African American denomination.
From the Caucasus.
They can be Asian, they can be Brazilian, they can be Puerto Rican. I would love to have someone of a different race on the show. I would love that. If there's someone that's watching our show that is non-African American that would love to be a contributor to the show. You don't have to be on every episode, but you would love to be a contributor on the show. I would love to have you on the show. That's just me. I'm not saying they feel the same way. Okay, that's just how I feel. I would love to have that, but I had to have John on the show. Holly had to have my husband on the show. I don't want you guys thinking that Ryan's on the show because he's my husband, or Ryan had to have me on the show because we're married. Holly wanted to have my husband on the show because he loves his energy. He loves his spirit. And so I'm not saying that because I did not want my husband on the show, but I don't want you guys thinking he's on the show because we're husband and wife. Yeah. Holly had wanted. Well, I don't mean no, but I don't want people thinking. No, yeah. So I'm saying that because I want you guys to understand how this dynamic works. And so it works because of the different energies that we bring to the show, okay? So if we love the comments, suggestions, and compliments that you guys bring, We like I say every week, this show does not work without you. Without you guys watching, we would not be here. Season 2 will be twice as great as season 1. Please keep the energy coming. We need it. Every episode, we want you guys feedback. We want you guys suggestions. Let us know what you would like to see on season 2. We will start airing or working on episodes for season 2 in a month. Send your suggestions for season 2 to our Facebook page. If you would like to be a guest on season 2, we would love to have you. If you would like someone else that you know would like to be on season 2, let us know. But we're here to stay, you guys. So thank you guys so much. That's my final thoughts. Holly, do you have any additional final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Ryan, final thoughts for season 1.
Final thoughts for season 1. It was fantastic. It was a great experience. Me as probably the most
That's what I was going
introverted,
to put too.
most analytical person on the show. It was an eye-opening experience because I don't mind being in public. I don't mind talking. It's just sometimes I only say something when it's worth saying, and I'll analyze and process a lot of things. And for me, it's been a transition because we've been doing this during the midst of a pandemic and also during the current situation with Black Lives Matter and also with George Floyd. And it's been one thing after another, obstacle after obstacle. And the main thing is we've been doing this out of love and being informative to provide not only information to other people out there, but also enlighten them and doing things out of love. You can never go wrong because anything done out of hate hurt people. So sometimes you can't even see clearly because you can't separate the trees from the forest. Sometimes you might be blinded by your own internal negativity. And most things is God told his disciple to go out and preach the word of God to not only the people who were healed, but the sinners and also those who needed the love the most, whether it be the one with the issue of blood, whether it be the man who couldn't walk. All these people he reached to the most. And I think that's the most Christian ways of doing things is to reach out to people. If you feel that they're not doing what they need to do or you're doing something contradictory to the word, which is to bring truth, how can you bring someone to the word of God when you don't truly represent them? Which Jesus went out to reach everybody, all masses. But how can you reach someone's heart when you are spewing hate or spewing something other than love to them? There's no way to be receptive. You can't teach a child how to love and be responsible if the only thing they've seen is something contradictory to what you're trying to teach them. So with me, this whole season has been fantastic. I love y'all. It's been a great experience. And for me, it's been a humble experience with my wife on the show because I truly appreciate her. It's Father's Day weekend, so we're going to enjoy ourselves. Well, I'm going to enjoy myself, but we're going to have a fantastic weekend. Love all the people that participated and come to look at us every day, especially IK. We love you so much, being so dedicated to the show. My wife tells me all the time how much she appreciates your words and comments, and it's just really gratifying to see everything come to fruition. And our dreams are much more bigger than the seeds we planted, but the seeds will come into fruition. All it takes time and patience.
We thank you guys so much. To all the fathers, we hope you have a phenomenal Father's Day. Holly, thank you so much for creating this show. John, thank you for agreeing to be on the show. Thank you for doing this with me. I have the best husband and the best father in the world to our children. You guys, we love you. We'll see you in 3 months.
No.
September, we will be back for season 2. Stay active on our Facebook page as to where you will find us. It's September.
No.
Oh.
But no.
Okay. Stay active on our Facebook page, and you will be able to, we'll keep you posted on where you will find us, okay? This show does not work without you. Thank you so much, Dallas Confidential TV. Go get some food. Go to Wingfields. Hamburgers, black
Heck of a
owned
place.
restaurant.
Get there
Oh,
early.
yeah.
Go to Wingfields
Get
off
there
of
early.
Illinois and 35. You will absolutely love it. Lolo's Chicken and Waffles in South Lake. Oh my God, you will absolutely love it. Black owned restaurant. Lolo's Chicken and Waffles. You cannot go wrong. You guys have a great Saturday. We love you. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.